Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. Oftentimes, I think it's worth a return trip to an area that I had recently been to. In this spot, in the Utah desert, I recently encountered a nice concentration of rock art, and after the trip, I began to wonder if I had missed anything. As I've explained in most of my videos, to do a thorough search of an area is an absolute time suck. In many instances, I've missed things. Due to the age of a lot of rock art, it's very easy to simply walk right by stuff. Images have weathered away after a millennia or two of experiencing the elements. Some of the art may date back 10,000 years. That's a lot of wind, rain, and sun to endure. Rock disintegrates, paint fades. A common term for this is called exfoliating. A lot of the art is just that old. And sometimes images are found in the most obscure places. At the very bottom of cliff bases near the dirt, under tiny ledges, or high up above on a rock shelf, and so on. So if I came across an area that has rock art, there more than likely is something I missed on my first visit. True, sometimes I find new images, and sometimes I find absolutely nothing. That's just how it goes. I'm returning to this area in the Utah desert to search a different spot in the hopes of finding more rock art. Please join me as I head out to discover what once was. Decided to quit while I was ahead. We had a all-day storm yesterday, and it's an absolute mess out here. So yeah, I run the risk of getting stuck out here. I'm pretty close. The problem is once the desert gets saturated, a lot of this material you see here is like a clay-like material. As you saw, my tires just get completely caked and that's it. You're done. So I'll leave the truck and I gotta hike out to these cliffs in the distance, which is no big deal. It's a nice cold morning after the storm. So it'll be a pleasant day of walking, and hopefully it can dry out a little bit over the next few hours, at least enough to where I can possibly get out of here. Yeah, that's the plan. So as I explained, I just had to come back out here. I had to return to this area. Felt that there's might be something else that I hadn't seen, so I'm gonna spend the day kind of scouring more of the area that I didn't search on a previous trip, and maybe we'll come across something. On the previous trip I encountered two very different styles of rock art. One style, I feel I linked it to ancient glyphs extending into Nevada, so I think they're very, very old, thousands of years old. And then the other rock art I encountered up in the cliffs was more modern. How much more modern, I couldn't tell you. It could be hundreds of years old, or it could be 1,000 years old. I guess there's really no way of telling, but I think there's a mix of both there. So I think there just might be more out here. So that's the plan, really.
I think a village probably extended out from the cliffs. When I left last time, I just saw evidence of just probably ruins everywhere, and I'm getting closer to the cliffs now, but things like this, just when you look around, you don't see anything, and all of a sudden you just see these flat rocks like this. That kind of tips me off. So I mean, whether they were used for grinding or cutting platforms or building, anything of that nature, because there's nothing else in the area like that. So the rocks were farmed and brought. Yeah, pretty interesting. So as soon as I start seeing stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay, need to keep an eye open. So there very well may have been ruins all through the area, and a lot of times dirt roads will go right through it. Just the way it is. Yeah, so immediately by that flat rock, I'm starting to see debitage, lithics. So this is evidence of tool making, these flakes here. So, I mean, it's everywhere. Very nice. As I'm approaching the cliff base here, it's just, I just want to point out that there's just piles of lithics. It's just everywhere. This is all flakes from tool making. Ground's literally just about covered with it. I mean, it's just everywhere. Interesting. Whew. Cold. Get out of that sun. Just going up to the bottom of the cliff base here and see if there's any potential spots for some rock art, some nice flat surfaces. Although I did find petroglyphs up in a little slack canyon last time, so I mean, it literally could be anywhere. But I feel like there's more out here, so we're gonna have a look. What I'm really hoping to find today is more of the really ancient stuff. I know there's got to be more out here. And the problem with finding stuff like that is that, well, it's so old, like we're talking thousands of years, that most of the time it's been weathered away or exfoliated away. It's just you wouldn't even notice it. So it's a time suck because you have to really scour everything, and you know, next thing you know, 6 hours has passed and you've only searched like this area. So, but I feel like there's more here that hasn't been seen. So hopefully we come across some today. If not, well, it's a good walk. Yeah, well, that was fun. I've come back out. So we're gonna move out and try another section. Get out of the bushes. Found a little cave that goes back a ways. There's some flat rocks all near the entrance. I see some charcoal right there. Looks like there might have been fires in it. This might have been a lot deeper, but it's filled with sand now. So, I mean, I guess I can peer in there. Oh, it goes way back there. I can see on the ceiling that there are fires in here. I'm not going to crawl all the way in there. But yeah. I don't see anything on the exterior or interior. But there were definitely fires in this thing. This looks like an interesting spot. Ooh. Oh, well. This is definitely interesting. What do we got here? We've got some rock art. Can't say how old it is, but that's wow, that's pretty cool actually. What do you suppose that's about? That's out here in this. So you can see, here's the figure. Here I am. I don't think a child drew this. It's had to be someone probably almost as tall as me to draw that in. Probably drawn with charcoal. Interesting. There's something to the left of it, but I can't make it out. That's very unique. That's pretty cool, whatever it is. Some type of devil demon. Who knows? Looks like the camera's making out a design to the left of this better than my eyes are, but I still can't. I don't know. Is that someone? I don't know. Hard to say with this one. It is very different than what I've seen out here. But it's something. Yeah, very, very unique and interesting. Just out here in the middle of nowhere, there's that. So the drawing is right in here. It's interesting how the sun's going to hit that in a little while. And it's going to come right through that hole, light it up. But just in front of it all, the ground's covered in debitage, lithics. So people were in here tool making, that's for sure. How interesting. So over to the right is where the concentration of rock art is that I came upon on the previous trip. I haven't been deep into here exploring, so I'm gonna probably walk up in here and check some of the rocks in there, or the rock faces I should say, and see if we stumble upon anything in there. And then maybe I'll come back out and walk that farther down. I don't know. I've got all day, so hopefully stay out here as long as possible, and maybe the sun will dry out the road just a little bit so I don't have to worry about getting stuck. But we've come across something. I'm not so sure how old that drawing is, but it's definitely interesting. You'd think there'd be something in here, wouldn't you? Oh yeah, baby. We got pictographs. Look at that. Ooh. Very nice. Old stuff, and here we go. Oh. That. There's some vandalism on it. But there's some old pictographs in here. That symbol right there, I can't say I've seen anything quite like that. That might be like a cave valley style. Interesting, there's something there. Barely make this out. It's old stuff, no doubt about that. There's some scratches in it right here. Looks like someone's counting time. I don't know if the camera's really picking those scratches out, but I don't know. I didn't really take my time and look. Some of this stuff's pretty old. Oh, here's more. Oh, wow. Here we go. What's going on? It's all down here. Oh, wow. Is that a human-like figure there? How interesting. That's pretty cool. I'm always absolutely thrilled to find pictographs. So today has certainly been a success then. So if you stand back a little bit, you can see this panel a little bit better, and there is some slight vandalism over the pictographs, but I don't want to go in too close. But standing back, you can make out some more symbols there. And of course, the anthropomorphic figure to the upper left corner there is very visible. This is very interesting. I'm sure there is more, but if you just continue to move up a little bit, you can see that it's exfoliated away. So this is more than likely really old stuff. And of course, some idiot came along and scratched their names over it. I just can't figure out why people do that. And then above it, there's still some quite visible there. Very interesting. And then I'm going to get on my back here, and then off to the right, you can see there's some down in that corner there. How awesome. All right, well, this is totally worth walking around, and especially to see this really intriguing symbol right here. Okay, well, we're finding stuff. Very nice. So we're going to continue to walk around. Well, that's simply amazing. This would have been an ideal spot for something, and there's nothing. It's just it's the way it goes sometimes. I mean, this thing cuts right through. There's nothing. I mean, there's ledges to stand on, all kinds of stuff. It's like the perfect spot for some type of symbol, and there's nothing. That's just so interesting how there's nothing right here, and this is like a passage, and then you just go out and there's just a whole bunch facing to the west. Well, maybe there was stuff in here and it's just exfoliated away. You never know, but wow, that's a little perplexing. I mean, there is nothing that I am seeing. So we went down a ways and we scoured the rocks and we didn't find anything. And as we work our way back, we're back to the area of concentration. I'm sorry, of the petroglyph concentration. And figured I'd end the video strong since we didn't really find anything else. But here's a panel right here. I can barely make this out just looking at it with the sun, but the stuff on this wall right here is almost completely exfoliated away or weathered away. It's ancient stuff. Here's a look at it. I had this in the previous video, but I'm sitting here staring at it, and there's just stuff all over the place. The camera can definitely pick this up better than my eyes can right now. So intriguing, very intriguing. However, the day was not a complete loss. We did stumble across two other interesting drawings. Well, one was a drawing and the other stuff was paintings, pictographs. Pictographs were very old. They were faded and almost exfoliated away as well. As far as that drawing, man, your guess is as good as mine. I'm fairly certain Cowboy didn't draw that, and it kind of has a style to it that might be connected to the area. I'm not sure, but very interesting indeed. So thank you very much for watching. Lots more content on the way, folks. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps us out tremendously. We'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.